Go ahead, put it on real tight. Hope you brought your best tonight. They say they got the fireworks, yeah, they say they got the show. Here around the chutes, you're the best, so let's go.
This is Texas Toast. I'm your host, Miss Helen. Kick back and enjoy as we toast the best from Texas.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Texas Toast. I'm your host, Miss Helen, and this week we have a special guest, Hayden Haddock, which I've been looking forward to talking to you, Hayden. And your music is amazing, and I love your story. And of course, have you graduated A&M already?
I have not. I'm actually still in school here. I've got roughly a year left. We'll see how long that year actually takes, though. It may be a little bit longer. You know how it goes.
I know.
But yeah, thank you very much for having me, by the way. I appreciate it.
Oh, well, we're happy that we can have you. It's interesting because it's like that's where your music kind of started at A&M. I know that you grew up in the Dallas area, played high school football. What position did you play?
I played running back and linebacker. So that's what I played all through middle school and high school and all that stuff. And yeah, definitely we came from a big sports family. So I never thought I'd be doing the music thing, but here I am.
Yeah, you kind of kept that secret for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I learned to play the guitar when I was 14, and then basically I'm a pretty shy kid at heart, and so I never, singing wasn't even in the question. It was just my family, would ask me to play the guitar for them or whatever, and I would, wouldn't even do that. I would just play in my room late at night, and then finally, I got down to A&M for my freshman year, and as you could probably imagine, I was dating a young lady at the time, and she ended up, my roommate actually told her that I could play the guitar and sing, and she ended up, harassing me to sing her a song, and finally I gave in, and that was the most nervous I'd ever been in my life for anything. And then about a month or two later, something like that, I played my very first show in front of, an audience, and then been doing it ever since.
Wow, you've come a long way, and it's impressive just in the few years that you've been putting out music and to juggle getting your education. What is your major at A&M?
Yeah. So my major is construction science. So construction field. So it's a pretty good backup if music ends up not working out, but hopefully that doesn't happen.
I think you're definitely on the road with music. I previewed your music, and let's talk about, okay, your first album that came out was First Rodeo in 2018, and then your current, and of course you had some good releases off of that, and then Red Dirt Texas is your current, it's your sophomore album that you released at 22.
Right. Yes.
And
yeah, that first record, I don't know, I listened back to that and it's just crazy how much, just like you said, just over I guess it's going on 4 years now of doing this whole music thing. But it's just crazy over those few years or whatever, how much my voice has matured even to this day, and, songwriting skills and all that stuff. And so it's crazy listening to that first record. There's a lot of stuff on there that I hear and it hurts my ears, but people still like it. So we still play those songs. Most of them. But anyway, so it's good though. Each record I think has gotten, or each release, I guess, I think has gotten better. And, that's the way I think it should be, as long as you're, working on perfecting your craft, I guess you could say, everything should get better with time. So that's what we're shooting for.
yeah, well, one of your big hits off of there was Honky Tonk On, which we previewed and talked about here on Texas Toast. So tell me the background about Honky Tonk On. Who co-wrote with you, or did you write it?
Yeah, Honky Tonk On was, I wrote that with my producer and manager, Trent Willmon, and then a guy named Jim Collins, who's another pretty big songwriter out of the Nashville area. He wrote, I know he's written a couple hits for Kenny Chesney, Jason Aldean, and I want to say Zach Brown Band, I think, and then a few more. And anyways, well-known songwriter. And we went into that room one morning, and Jim's a very kind of good way to describe him would be like the Energizer Bunny. He just, he's constantly going and just a good dude and a fun guy. And so we got in there and, we're talking about what to write about. And finally I got to thinking about it and realized I didn't have, a honky tonk song, a song about, all these bars and stuff that we go around spending most of our time playing. And he seemed like a perfect guy to kind of get that written with. And so we did, and we wrote Honky Tonk On. I think we had it finished before lunch. We got it out pretty quick. We wrote that song in 2.5, 3 hours maybe, which is fairly quick for writing a song. So anyways, but yeah, that release ended up doing well for me. I think that ended up being, I think, my highest charting single. And I know it as well past being my number one stream song on all the streaming platforms and all that stuff. So it ended up doing well for us.
Yeah, it's such a fun song.
Yeah, and that was kind of the thought behind it. Just fun, drinking, dancing party song.
A few other songs that I want to talk about also is you did release Where You Come In. That's another great one. But I have to ask you about the song Still Dancing.
Yeah, Still Dancing is definitely one of my favorites off that record. And it actually it's been a lot of my family, their favorites too. My stepmom, my mom, everybody loves that song. And basically me and Trent, we had 9 songs together for the Red Dirt Texas record, and we knew we wanted to get 10 songs. And so we had a long day. I think we had been in the studio or something. And, me and Trent kind of sat down at his house, and he's like, man, he's like, do you want to go through and listen to some more of these outside songs and see if there's one that, stands out to you, and maybe, that's our 10th song, or you want to try and write one? And I said, well, let's just try and write one, see what we come up with. And so we literally just grabbed a guitar, and we had no clue what we were going to write about. And Still Dancing ended up just coming out. And even after we wrote it, I remember me and Trent just kind of talking about it. We're like, we just, we're not sure how strong of a song it is. And then we ended up deciding to cut it. And I remember being in the studio when the band tracked it. That song just came alive. And like I said, people ended up loving it. And I think that was actually the first song when we released that record that got picked up by a bunch of the big like Spotify playlists and Apple playlists and all that stuff. So that one ended up working out all right.
Yeah, well, as I was going through listening to your music, of course, I keep up with your radio releases, but I like to dig in and once I start listening to an artist that's as good as you, I have to listen to everything. And so I was like forwarding it out to all my girlfriends last night, because that is such in my wheelhouse, that song is. So I absolutely love that one. And then on a serious side, America, I had goosebumps when I listened to that one.
Yeah, America, that's a great song. I didn't write that. That was written by a young lady named Brooke Maloff, and she lives in Nashville, and she's a songwriter and stuff. And I met her years ago, and we had written together once or twice. And then I remember she started sending me some songs, and a lot of them just weren't really my style. And then she sent me a demo of America. And the demo was way different than the way we did it. But I remember, it was just that's a song where it's just the words is what gets you.
Yes.
And I played it for Trent, and I was like, what if we took this and just, redid it, made it our own? But anyway, so we did it, and we wanted it to just be this dramatic, big, America song. And we ended up coming out at a pretty decent time, all the stuff going on in the world. So we timed it pretty good. I wish that song would have done a little bit more, or we would have done a little bit more with that song, I guess, but it never really worked out that way. But definitely a good one to have, on my resume, I guess.
Absolutely, for sure. So working with Trent Willmon, he's amazing. He's been here on the podcast. And of course, my background is radio. So I've been following Trent for years. So I know you've been co-writing. You co-write with some amazing people: Trent, Kevin Fowler, Terry McBride, David Lee Murphy. How did you get wound up in that crowd? Here you are at A&M, student, and doing the gigs there. And then you end up with all these people co-writing with you.
Yeah, that's all these cool people that I've gotten to write with and all that stuff, or even these cool people I meet, whatever. Pretty much it's all thanks to Trent. As you know, Trent's a very well-connected man, and I've just been, I've been super blessed and lucky that I guess probably about 2 years ago now, me and Trent, basically my publicist out of Nashville, got me just a songwriting session with Trent. And of course, I've been a Cody Johnson fan since I was 14 or 15 years old. So I already knew who Trent was, and I was already kind of starstruck, all that stuff. And went in there and we wrote, actually we wrote Where You Come In. That was the first song we wrote together. And then I remember we got done writing that song, and Trent basically asked me, he said, man, I've listened to your first record and you've got some good stuff. And, what would you think about me producing your next album? And I'm like, well, I would love that. So, and then that's kind of what sparked me and Trent's relationship. And obviously then me and him, spent a bunch of time together getting all the Red Dirt, Texas songs together and all that stuff. And he's just such a good dude. And he's really taken me under his wing. That, Trent's like family to me now. He's kind of like my cool uncle. And,
yes.
Anyways, he's taking me under his wing, and he's opened a bunch of doors for me in my career. Like you said, all the good songwriters and stuff that I've gotten to meet and write with, getting pitched cool outside songs from awesome people, getting to meet people, getting, shows, all kinds of stuff. I mean, is all I definitely credit a lot of it to him. So very thankful for Mr. Trent.
Mm-hmm. So as you were growing up, who was some of your favorite musicians and artists or shows you would go to?
Yeah. So growing up, I listened to a lot of 90s country, mainly with my one of my older brothers and my dad. They'd play a lot of like Randy Travis, obviously George Strait, Garth Brooks, a lot of Tracy Lawrence. I'm a huge Tracy Lawrence fan. And then, some of the newer guys, I guess, I'm a huge John Party fan. I think he's doing a great job of, keeping the traditional side of stuff alive, which is obviously what I love. And obviously Cody Johnson, like I said. But yeah, I'm a big 90s fan. And then I love like Elvis Presley. I love Elvis Presley. Huge Elvis fan. That's always, when people ask you, like, if you could have dinner or see somebody's show that's no longer living, it's always Elvis. It's always what I've said. So yeah, a lot of stuff like that was kind of my big influence. And I think the first country concert I ever went to, actually, which is what inspired me to take guitar lessons, was it was Kenny Chesney at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, and then Eric Church was opening up for him, and that was back when Eric was still in the ball cap sunglasses era. And I remember it was actually watching Eric Church was what made me go home and want to take guitar lessons.
So you're out touring, and you have speaking of shows, your shows now you have your own shows, you're out there playing. So what's it like in front of the crowd? I mean, it looks like to me you have a really good stage presence and high energy.
Yeah, we try, I try and take notes from, again, guys like John Party, Cody Johnson, all those guys that have those real high energy, fun shows. To me, it sometimes is a little boring watching people that just stand at the mic and sing, unless they just have, vocal cords from heaven. But so I try and do my best to, also do the entertaining side of things. And definitely it's a work in progress. I've had to learn all this fairly quickly. So still learning. But anyways, yeah, shows are awesome. We luckily are staying super busy now. Obviously, music industry got shut down for a little bit last year, and now we've had some of our busiest months. Actually, I was blessed to sign that booking deal with Red 11 a little over a year ago now, and they've kept me busy. I think last month we had 14 shows. This month we were supposed to have 12. I had gotten a bad sinus infection though last week, so we had to cancel a few of them. But keeping us busy. Crowds are good, and we're getting to play with some cool people. We've gotten to do big runs with Steve Warner, Kevin Fowler, Casey Donahue, a bunch of guys like that. So it's definitely cool. Definitely
you are in the crowd. I did notice that you had a lot of shows on your schedule with Steve Warner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's been awesome. We had I think we played 5 with them already. We did 2 weekends with those guys, and it was awesome. Steve, is just down to earth, nicest dude ever, and his brother Terry that's in the band, he's awesome. The whole band, everybody just super accommodating and very nice, very good band, all that stuff. We loved watching, we watched I think my band watched Steve's whole set literally every night. Because it's just, he's still so good, and it's like hit song after hit song after hit song that he plays.
Yes.
And anyways, and then we've got 3 more coming up with him in November. We'll be with him in the Colony at Lava Cantina, and then we'll be at both of the Rowdies here in Webster and Spring in the Houston area. So definitely looking forward to those.
So far, since you've been out playing, where is like one of your favorite places to play or a bucket list venue?
Yeah, so luckily I've gotten to check off quite a few of my bucket list venues. Still got some to go, but probably my favorite place that we've played so far. Someone asked me this the other day, and I had to think hard about it, but it probably would be John T. Floor's country store in Helotes. We got to play out there with Steve Warner. That was, I think, our third or fourth show with him, and we got to do the big outdoor stage, and I think I think ticket count was just under 2,000 people out there, and it was slam packed, and the crowd, loved it, and that was just great show, great venue, great crowd. I mean, everything. That was like the ideal show. If I could play that show every night, I'd be a happy man.
Well, getting back to your music, let's talk about your current single, because we jumped on it as soon as it was released and I heard it. Wind It Down.
Yeah, well, thank you for jumping on the single. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, Wind It Down was that was written by Trent Willmon and fellow Texas artist and fellow Aggie, Wynn Williams. They wrote the song I think a while back in January or something like that. And again, a few months ago, me and Trent just sitting at Trent's house and kind of just getting a game plan together to release some new music. And basically, we had written, I think, 4 or 5 songs, something like that. And then Trent kind of pulled out his phone and started playing me some demos and stuff, some outside songs. And he played me a super rough demo cut of Wind It Down. I think it was just Trent and the acoustic guitar singing it. And, he said, yeah, me and Wynn wrote this, and Wynn just, isn't going to cut it. So if you like it, you can have it. And he played it, and I made him play it one more time, I think. And I just knew right off the bat, I fell in love with it. Kind of just the whole storyline to it, being at the dive bar, drinking beer with your buddies, just kind of BSing with them. It totally just reminded me of being here in College Station, and we always end up going to the Dixie Chicken here, which is the real famous bar, and you're been around forever, so famous in that sense, and little dive bar-ish, and so it totally painted that picture in my head. And so actually the music video we have coming out for that, we actually ended up filming most of it at the Dixie Chicken for that reason. And so anyways, I loved it, and it ended up being a super high energy, kind of upbeat, just fun song. So we figured me not having released music in close to 2 years, we figured this would be a good first single, kind of come out with a bang. So
yeah, it's
hope
banging.
Everyone is enjoying it.
I am enjoying it. I just love how it goes full circle, and I just love, and like you said, it's just like how you've got that little benchmark spot that you always go to. Like we have in our area, our go-to places. So also in 2021, you were named the Texas Regional Radio New Male Vocalist.
Right. Yeah, that was an awesome experience. That was one of those things where I've been nominated, I guess, at a few different award shows, and I never won up until that one. And so I remember I almost didn't go to that award show because I think it was during the week, I believe, and it was up in Fort Worth, and I'm here in College Station, and I had to be back for school or something the next day. And so I think I told Jen, I was like, hey, yeah, I don't think I'm going to make it. And she's like, I just have a feeling you need to go. So I'm like, all right. So then I, get there, and actually Trent ended up flying in and surprising me being there. And then my whole family was there. My band ended up surprising me being there because I was trying to make it the super low key thing. And so that ended up being really cool. And then Trent ended up, when I won, ended up being the one presenting me the award. And it ended up being a really good experience. And, it was one of those deals I just, never in a million years, did I think I'd be, let alone doing anything in the music industry, but winning awards for my music. But as me and Trent said, we're like, hopefully that is the first of many. So
I'm sure it is. And it's funny talking about you being at A&M, that so many of the Texas artists have come out of A&M. And I remember, of course, Roger Kreger went to A&M, and I remember some of the artists coming up after him that would come in on their radio tour. They were like, gosh, like I was in a class with Roger Kreger one time. Yeah. Like, is there any, do you find yourself running into musicians in some of your classes?
I haven't too much. I've maybe a couple. I can't remember their names now. This was last year probably now. But anyways, yeah, it's happened a few times. And then like me, I'll be sitting and see. So the thing with me, I don't do too many in-person classes. I try and do as many
Well,
online as I
yes,
can.
yes.
And then when I do in-person class, I'm like, I try and stay super. I'm very quiet. I told you I'm shy at heart, so I kind of sit in the back and don't really talk, don't say anything. So I try and keep to myself. But it was like the other day, you know, I'm sitting there in one of my classes. We have to do like a peer review thing for these papers, and I'm sitting next to these dudes. I have no clue who they are, and I switch with them, and they read my paper, and they look at me, and they're like, "Do you sing?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Yeah, I hear your stuff on the radio all the time." And then the kid next to him's like, "Oh, you're Hayden Haddock?" And I'm like, "Yep, that's what they say, anyways." And so stuff like that happens. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I try and keep to myself. But yeah, definitely College Station seems to have a ton of musicians, obviously. You know, even you got Carson Jeffrey, Jacob Stelly, all those guys,
Yes.
even
Mm-hmm.
Hayden Baker, all of them. So yeah, we've got a good little group going on here. But
Well,
they're all graduating. I'm getting to be one of the only lone wolves left in school here.
yes, because I think Carson just graduated. We had
Yeah,
him
I
on
think
the
he graduated
podcast.
last year. Yeah.
Yeah, we had him on the podcast a few months ago. So what do you have coming up? I mean, you're pretty much busy. I think we've covered everything. Anything else coming up you want to put out there?
Yeah. Well, we've got obviously Wind It Down just came out. So again, hope y'all are enjoying that. And kind of I guess a little spoiler alert, we actually recorded 6 new songs when we recorded that. And so our plan is to, and Trent hadn't even told me if I'm allowed to tell people this, but I've been telling people, so we're just gonna roll with it. But no, our plan is we're gonna probably release a new single out every like 2 to 3 months for the next 6 months. Then we're going to get back into the studio probably in December, cut another handful of songs. And then our goal, I think, is probably about mid 2022 to get another full length record out to you guys. So that's definitely something to look forward to. And then obviously shows, we play every weekend just about, or we do play every weekend, multiple shows. And so we're pretty much all over the place. So yeah, hopefully everybody listening, y'all can come catch a show, and
That
it'll
is
be a good
freaking
time.
awesome. Hey, I noticed you got that Traeger grill shirt on. Is that what you got on? You like to
That
grill.
is, yeah. I love to grill. I love to grill, barbecue, cook, everything. But yes, definitely grilling and smoking stuff is my thing. That's probably my second passion outside of music.
I love that smell. I love the smell. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I love to cook out. We cook out a lot. Of course, I live on the Gulf Coast, and if we're not grilling, then it's, we're fishing or whatever. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So outside of when you're not doing music or grilling, is there any other interests or hobbies it's kind of interesting, or guilty pleasures?
Oh, I have to think. I don't know. Trying to think. If I'm not doing that, if I'm not doing schoolwork, I'm pretty much cooking, grilling, at the gym. I work out quite a bit, actually I took off for a little bit too long once we got real busy in the music thing. Luckily I'm back now, so I'm trying to get back in shape. But that, and then I don't know, I'm just hanging out with my friends. I'll go fishing. My fiddle player loves to fish, so he'd be jealous of where you live.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I caught me
fishing, all that stuff.
I went out and targeted some flounder. Of course, I didn't go with my guy is a captain here, and we fish a lot. We target big trout, topwater. I love to throw topwater, but I went with some of my friends targeting flounder because flounder run's fixing to be done. Caught an 18-inch and a 23-inch the other day.
Dang.
On my secret rig. I have a secret rig.
Zach, yeah.
It's fun.
He's from Sugar Land, and so he's been down, I guess, that way on the coast, obviously his whole life. And so now pretty much anytime we have off, or if he's got a few extra hours, if we're playing in that area, he's running down to the coast trying to catch him something. So
see if he's ever, I'm sure he's probably been to Matagorda, like everybody's.
Oh, that's where he goes. Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
man, give him my contact information. Seriously, we got to exchange information. Kyle's been on the boat with us. Kyle and Trent Cowie came, and Trent brought his bass player, and then Trent had his girlfriend. We had a big old time. It was one of those slow days, but we had the best time. So please, if y'all are ever down this way fishing, let us know.
Well, heck yeah, we can make something happen.
Yes, we can. So wow, it's been great visiting with you. I feel like I've known you, love your music, and can't wait to see what's in the future for you. Thank you so much, Hayden, for joining us.
Absolutely.
Oh, wait. I forgot because we got so busy just visiting. off my plan here. Last question. I always ask everybody: if you were a cocktail, what would you be?
Oh, if I was that's a new question. I was a cocktail, what would I be? Oh man, that's hard. Maybe a dirty martini. I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
That seems fitting.
Okay,
I
that
don't know
sounds
why,
good.
but I love them, and yeah, they're strong and classy. There you go.
It's kind of making me thirsty for one. I haven't had one of those in a long
I
time.
had one last night. We cooked up some Italian food, so I made a good martini.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, you are the best, Hayden. Thank you so much again for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And with a heavy tongue, she knew where I was from. As she left, I dared to say, well, you can go to hell. Hell, I'll go to Texas. I've had my fill of every place but home.